So AI writing assistant, I mean, when we say AI writing assistant, what exactly are we talking about? And to set the context right, there has been a lot of news around AI. It's someone raising their hand. So this is what is going to happen, guys. In order not to distract the section, I would prefer that you don't speak out. Like for now, if you have any question, kindly use the Q&A. When I break and I'm taking the questions, then I'll allow anyone who wants to speak to also speak. Okay, kindly remain muted and let's follow the session till we are on break. Please remain muted if possible so that we don't get any form of distractions. Right. Um, Let me see. Just a couple of seconds. See if I can mute everyone. Hi, Emanuela. You're welcome. Ella, I've seen you. Uh, is it possible? All right, good. So I can mute everyone. Great. Great. So this is a new platform that I'm testing out for our session. So hopefully I master it enough to be able to use it for subsequent sessions. Great. So let's keep going. With the advent of AI, I mean, in the news almost everywhere, no matter the part of the world that you stay, you would have probably come to hear about AI and what they are. A year or two ago, if they say AI, some of us will envisage something huge like robots doing their things. But then this particular year, just from I think from last year, December, November, December, when a company called OpenAI released a product onto the market which was free to use by everyone, then it brought AI closer to us. So a lot of us have now come to hear about it, seen it, but then today's workshop is to teach you how to use it in the right way to get the best of results for whatever purpose you are choosing to use the AI. So basically, we are just looking at a category of AI tools known as generative AI. There are several AI tools, but the ones that we're going to focus on is what we refer to as the generative AIs. And basically, when you say a generative AI, we are referring to an AI that is able to generate some content for you. It's able to what? Synthesize, put together information and generate content for you. It could be of several different types. All right. So we could have generating tests. We're going to focus more on in today's workshop. We could have AIs that generate media, that's images or videos or audio, even music. Like there are several of these tools out there that you would get access to. But for today's workshop, we're going to focus on the writing ones, that is the text generating AI tools. All right. And once I know, I think we have a mixture of audience, so I have to be very careful how to deliver this. So we have some undergraduates, we have some graduates and working professionals and graduate students amongst us. So I'm going to do my best to put it in perspective for all of us to appreciate it. Now with the generative AI tools, as I've said, we are narrowing down on the ones that are used for writing. And even the ones that are used for writing, there are a lot of them. Okay. So in general, most of these tools that we are working with are known as LLMs, is large language models. And essentially what they are is these are just, I can call them algorithms that have been trained with billions of data. All right. The data that's available has been trained such that they are able to not necessarily think, but at least they are able to synthesize information based on a query that you give them. So if you ask the AI tool that we're going to be learning about, if you ask them any sort of question, they are able to put together information, having the context that you have given them, you're able to synthesize some information back to you. And let me quickly introduce you to three of these tools, then we'll delve more into how to use them and I'll show you practically. So the first, the three that I'm going to introduce you to, the first one is in Microsoft Edge, the browser. So if any of you has used Microsoft Edge before, if you have used it recently, you would know that there is a new feature in Microsoft Edge, which is, all right, let me see. Okay, trying to open my browser. Great. So Bing is the default. All right, so Bing is the default search engine in Microsoft Edge. Remember, I said Microsoft Edge is a browser, just as you have Chrome. Chrome is a browser. Mozilla Firefox is a browser. So Microsoft Edge is a browser by the company called Microsoft, and they have released a chatbot called it's the Bing chatbot. Bing is their default search engine. So when you go to Chrome, the default search engine on Chrome is Google. So you use Google to do all your searches. Bing, on the other hand, is the default search engine in the Microsoft Edge browser. And they've introduced this chat component. So what you can see here, where you can chat with the AI. And we have Compose components as well. So with Compose, you can let the AI generate content for you. The AI can compose things for you. I am not really a big fan of Bing charts, so we're not going to delve more into this. But then the knowledge, the things that we're going to learn are very much applicable to using Bing chart. So if you'd want to test it out, it's for free. That's a good thing. In fact, all the three tools that we're going to learn about today are for free. So you can always play with it. I'm sure if you are running a Windows machine, then you certainly have Microsoft Edge on it. And that means you would have access to Bing and Bing Chat as well. So here, if you want it to write anything at all, you tell it to write, then it would be able to generate it for you. I said we are not going to delve more into this, but let me introduce you to the other two before I now proceed to tell you more about how to use these. So the next tool that I want to introduce you to is it's called Bard. Bard by Google. So it's bard.google.com. Bard, B-A-R-D, bard.google.com is also a tool released by Google that plays a similar role. So it is a generative AI tool that you are able to use to generate content from. You can ask it any sort of question. You can. The good thing about Bing's chat and Bard is that they are connected to the internet, so they can actually get information, like recent information for us, which is very important. Okay. The last tool that I want to introduce you to, which I've been using frequently, is called ChatGPT. So for those of you who do not know it, that is the one that was released in November last year. Very powerful tool. In fact, within 5 days of its release, it got over 1 million users. So that tells you how powerful it is and how many people are delving into it and making use of it on regular basis. So if you didn't know about any of these are very important. I hope you have your notepad and you are writing these things down. So we have Bard, which is bard.google.com. Then I've mentioned Bing's chat, which is in Microsoft Edge. So you need to have Microsoft Edge to be able to access Bing's chat. And now we are talking about Chat GPT. So if you don't have an account already, you could just Google search Chat GPT, right? Let me just go to google.com and it will take you to OpenAI's website where you can then create an account with Chat GPT. So just search for Chat GPT. Great. So you go here. I already have an account with them. So, but I'm just showing you how to access it. And largely, this is what I've experimented with the most because it was released way earlier. It came in last year around November, and I've been playing with it for quite some time now. Bard was released, I think, last week, so it is relatively new. I mean, it was released to the public last week. Then Bing 2, Bing runs more on the same model that is powering ChatGPT. So Microsoft has collaborated with OpenAI to have ChatGPT's engine running their Bing chat. Okay, so you come here and you sign up for an as simple as that. But let me go ahead and log into my own account. Let's get off screen and let me log in. Then I'll get back to you. Sorry about that. Just need to keep private data private. Essentially asking for an email address and a password. And since I already have an account with them, that is all that I need to enter: the email address and the password. As soon as you enter the email address and password, it's going to now lead you to their platform. As it's opening, now let me tell you a bit about these tools and how you should be able to use them to get the best of uh, responses from them. This is what you should think about, or how you should think about these tools. They are AI tools, right? The difference between an AI tool and us as humans is that AI tools do not have what is it called? They do not have emotions. Okay, humans have emotions, and we make decisions based on emotions. Someone is complaining about network. Is it my network or your network? Set. Please indicate in the chat. Can you clearly hear me so that I know whether it's my network that is messing up or your network? Can you hear me clearly? Oh, that says it's his network. All right, then I can proceed. Sorry about that. Hi, guys, please stay muted. Stay muted. Let me mute everyone once more. Please stay muted. All right. So the difference between what these AI tools are right now and what we are, I mean, humans are, the difference between the AI tools and the humans, because they can generate content just like any human can generate it, but then they do not have emotions. The AI does not feel anything, does not hear. Okay, I mean, it does not see, like all those five senses. The AI does not have it. So for them to be able to give you the right information, you have to be able to prime it to give you the right information. What do I mean by prime it to give you the right information? And that's the essence of today's session. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to prime the AI to give you the best of responses. But before then, this is how I want you to see the AI tools. You should see them as just a body. That's why I named the workshop assistant, a writing assistant. See it as a body who is there to assist you in whatever you're trying to do. And you should be able to speak to it as if you were speaking to your friend. So now, Foster is a very good friend of mine here, and say I am discussing, like there's something that I need Foster to help me with. If I go to Foster, I have to give him enough context for him to be able to give me the right response. All right. So in the same way, because the AI does not have feelings, cannot feel what you are saying or understand you until you are able to express yourself for it to understand you, you'd have to, I mean, that is exactly what you have to do. You have to give it the right content, let it understand exactly what you are saying so that it's able to feed back the right information for you. But as I said, you should see it as talking to your body. Like right now, you can see on my screen, this is evidence of me using the AI tool, and I use it literally every single day. And it's a history of the charts that you've had with it. So we're going to go practically how to do this. But essentially, let's say I come here and I say, how can I make good use of generative AI tools. So this is like me walking up to Foster and say, hey Foster, you know something about AI tools. It's the first time I'm hearing about it. So tell me, how can I make good use of these? All right. For this, I mean, it's quite general. I'm just showing you generally how you use it, okay, talking to it. But we're going to look at the tricks or the tips that you should engage when you are generating some of these content. And it just goes on to tell you all the things that you need to know. So generative AI tools offer a wide range of creative possibilities. Creative writing, use these tools to help you brainstorm ideas and a lot of content that he has produced. Okay, this is like general because you didn't give it enough context. All you said is, hey, tell me how to use generative AI tools. There are a lot of generative AI tools, so it's going to give you those options. And then it captures the history here so that at any point in time, you can come back to that specific history or that specific chart that you have. This means that you can segregate your charts that, okay, let's say I'm a student and say using this to write a cover letter or I'm using to write an essay, I could have a chart that is specifically dated to my essays. So anytime I come and I'm looking for the essay chart, I just go to that specific one. In fact, you can rename this. So let's call this AI writing assistant workshop. Okay, so now I've renamed this. That means that anytime that I come back and I want to see what we did, or I mean, follow up on the chats that we had with the AI during this particular session, I'll just have to look in the history for what I've named as AI writing assistant. Then I can go in there to see exactly what is there. So that is very important. Let me underline that and pin it very much, I mean, to you so that you would appreciate it. That the AI, you should talk to the AI, like talk to it. It is, you give, it gives you back, you give, it gives you back. So sometimes your first try may not give you the best answers. You would have to go a couple of times. But then, just as a human being, you're talking to your friend, you told him, you asked him probably for an advice, and he probably missed the context that you were giving him or her. So you'd have to now rephrase it or give more context. And it's the same thing that you're going to be doing here. So instead, let's say here when I told it, how can I make good use of generative AI tools? Maybe I didn't need virtual characters and chatbots, data augmentation. I didn't need this one. Maybe I just wanted to talk more about the writing tools. So instead, I could say, let me just say, I'll teach you how to go about this, but specifically with the writing tools. So this is like a human being. It remembers what I told it. Initially, I told it, how can I make good use of generative AI tools? Okay. And when I was coming to now say specifically with the writing tools, ideally I'm typed the whole thing again, but because it remembers, so I said it's like a human being you're talking to. You told your friend, hey guy, I heard you are the AI guru and I want to be able to use AI to generate content. What is or how can I use it best? And you start talking about all these uses, how you can use it to generate images, how you can use it to do data analysis, and say, hey, my guy, stop, stop, stop. I'm not interested in data analysis. I'm not interested in whatever you're talking about. I'm just interested in generating text. So specifically, how can I use this for content creation or writing? So that is exactly what I did here. I just say, hey, specifically with the writing tools. And it goes on to tell me when it comes to making good use of, remember, initially I asked, how can I make good use of generative AI tools? Then here I just said specifically with the writing tools. It goes on to paraphrase my question, like telling me that, oh, I know the context that you're asking this question. And he says, when it comes to making good use of generative AI tools for writing, here are some specific suggestions. Then he goes on to talk about idea generation, character development, overcoming writer's block, and several others. Maybe I'm looking for a specific one. Say overcoming writer's block. So I could pick that one out and ask it to now delve deeper into that one. All right, so that is essentially how you are supposed to be talking with the AI. I said talking with the AI because you say something, I type in, and it gives you feedback. The interesting thing is, for those of you who are on iOS devices, I think this particular week, OpenAI released the iOS app for ChatGPT. So if you are on iOS, you can look for their app. I think it's available. Please kindly mute yourselves, please. Mute everyone. What's happening? You kindly mute yourself. I think probably this is coming from. I don't know. Okay. Yes, guys, try to stay muted until you are called on mute. Not to mute everyone. Okay, wait. So as I was saying, OpenAI released the app version, iOS version of ChatGPT. So those of you who are using Apple phones, you could go ahead and download their app and use it. And I mean, every browser you'd have to go to their website to use it. But once again, remember to talk with the AI. You talk with it in a sense that you tell it something, it gives you an output. Keep back and forth with the AI so you get the best out of it. So now let's go delve more into a practical use of this AI tool. I mean, what I've done here is applicable to using BAD as well. If you're using BAD, so with BAD, you come here and let me go and copy the prompts that I use. So yeah, that's very important. This command that you give it or whatever you write, the question that you ask it, is known as a prompt. Okay, so I'm just passing the same prompt that I gave to ChatGPT. I'm passing it to BAD, which is bad.google.com, to see exactly what BAD is going to give me. And the same way, BAD also has memory of the charts that you have had. So it goes on to tell me generative AI tools can be used for a variety of purposes, including content creation, problem solving. It gives me a couple of points as well. But the nice thing about BAD that it gives you 3 different drafts at a go. So this particular one is the very first one. Okay, the very first draft. If you want to see other drafts, there's a drop down here. I hope you can see that. Click on that drop down. This is draft 2. So you click on draft 2 and you have the content here. You can click on draft 3 to have the content here. The other thing you can do with BAD is you can copy this content. So if, let's say, you are writing an essay and you'd want to copy this content, maybe that's the essay that you're writing, copy this content and use it in your essay. Then you scroll down, you have 3 dots here, click on it, then so after you've copied it, you can now go paste it anywhere you want. The other nice thing about this is you could actually export your selected drafts to a Google document, or you could export it as an email. And to export it, in the middle here, we have export responses. Right here, we have export responses. So click on that and you can export to docs. So if I click on this, it's going to open a new tab and export it. Okay, so yeah, down here, new document has been created, open doc. So you click on it and it has put the content from the BAD interface has now been put into this document. So as you can see, the prompt that I gave it is how can I make good use of generative AI tools, and it has created this for me. All right. So that's how to use BAD. I'm going to shift my focus to ChatGPT more. But one more thing about BAD is you can, if you think in the right answer and you want to go to Google, it will assist you with the right search term for Google. You know, when you are searching on Google to get a better outcome from a Google search, you actually need to know the keyword to use to do the search. So it is going to help you come up with the right search term, and that is you get that by clicking on Google it, and it now gives you, okay, you can search for this. So you can click on this and it will open Google, the content from the Google's web page itself. What is generative AI example and the like. And also when you come, just as we had chat history on the left sidebar of ChatGPT, you can also have your history in bad, and it's captured under bad activity. So when you click on bad activity, it will open your history and you are able to click on any of them to revive it or get into that specific one that you went with. So today, this is what I have done. In fact, here you can see on my screen right now, prompted it to write a well-optimized YouTube video description. So yes, I used it earlier today. I published a YouTube to use one of these tools to generate the description for me. As I said, BAT is relatively new. I've used ChatGPT more. And today, when I did with the video description, for instance, the YouTube video description, I realized that that from ChatGPT was way better than the one that Bard gave me. So I had to go with what ChatGPT gave me. For that matter, we are going to switch back to ChatGPT and use it for our discussion. How people are using this and not getting the right answers is something of concern. I mean, it is not 100% accurate, and every one of them has a disclaimer on it that this is in testing phases. I mean, it could give you wrong answers and you have to verify it. All right. But one key thing that you should also be aware of is the fact that the concept of garbage in, garbage out. If you put the wrong prompt, it will give you the wrong information. Or if you don't give it the right context, it will also give you something that it feels is most relevant. Remember, it takes in feedback. As people give it the prompt and it responds, you say, hey, this is not what I'm looking for. It takes that feedback to learn from it. The good thing about artificial intelligence is its ability to learn from things. Okay. So it's going to learn and it keeps learning by the day. But then to get the best outcomes, you always have to give it the right context and set the right pace for it. So that is exactly what we are going to be delving into soon, like very soon, pretty soon. Let me just pause here, take the questions that have come. If you have questions, kindly put in the questions. Then from after answering the questions, now move on to how to practically use it and how to get the best outcomes from here. Great. Can I zoom in the page, the recorded session? So there are no questions. I mean, yes, for the Zoom, I think you probably have to do it from your end. Let me see. This is messed up. Okay. So maybe, is that okay? Is this okay? So you wouldn't get to see. All right. I hope this is okay. You can see it now. Then recorded version, yes. Hopefully, I'll publish the recorded version on YouTube. Hopefully. Okay, good. Any other question? Please, for the questions, to make it easy for me to answer them, try and put the questions in the Q&A session. That would be way easier instead of me going through the chat to pick out a question. iOS, the app is not currently available in Ghana. I'm sorry. I mean, there is nothing that I can do about it, but certainly will come. Yeah. And I want to believe, I don't know. Are you able to use VPNs for it? I don't know. I'm just thinking aloud. So you could try that as well. The difference between ChatGPT and BAT. Oh, technically, I mean, there are two different models that are underlying it, right? but they are essentially doing a similar work, except that ChatGPT has been trained on data up to 2021. So any information that came in beyond 2021, ChatGPT isn't aware of it. So if you ask it of any recent happening, it doesn't know. Okay, it's remember, everything that you know right now is because you were exposed to it or you learned about it. Excuse me. Anything else that you haven't been exposed to yet, you don't know about it. Okay, and it's the same thing. ChatGPT is a learning model that has been fed with information up to 2021. So it knows only up to that extent. If you ask it any information, so if you are writing an essay about something that happened, say in 2022, it's not going to be able to give you that information. But Bard, on the other hand, is connected to the internet, so it can get real-time information. As soon as the information is published on the internet, will have access to it. So that is one key difference. With Bard, I don't know if you paid attention to it, but Bard's interface, you are able to record audio. So you can use the microphone to talk to Bard. Instead of typing what you want, you could click on this and speak, like use an audio prompt. Okay. I think the iOS version of ChatGPT also allows you to speak to it, but unfortunately, it's not available in all countries. So wait, when it's available in your country, you can as well. There are a couple of other, I mean, little differences. Like I showed you, where you can export the documents from here. You can send it as email. In fact, recently, most of the responses to my emails, I copy the content of the email and I give it to one of these tools to respond to the email. So if you want to send an email right now, you can come in here and send an email with blah blah blah. I'm going to talk about how to use them soon, and then you can go ahead and send it. With ChatGPT, you have to copy it and go and paste it somewhere else. So those are some of the subtle differences. But please, once more, use the Q&A for the questions. Okay, it's not easy for me to. All right, can I use these tools on my Android? So currently, these tools are not really on Android. The three, okay, no, they are. I mean, they are not apps, applications, but they are available in the sense that when you go to the website, so this one, bad.google.com, you can use your phone to go to bad.google.com and you have access to it. You can use your phone to go to ChatGPT. Earlier on, I showed how you can access ChatGPT and you'll be able to access it. So you can have access to it also. It's not just on the computer, except that we don't have the mobile app for you to just go and download it. One thing that you should be aware of is that now that these tools have come, a lot of people are creating clones of them. They are creating what they call, like even ChatGPT. When you go to Play Store right now, you see a lot of ChatGPTs there, but that is not the raw ChatGPT. So you have to be very careful. The good thing is that, I mean, if you're a developer, for my fellow ALS colleagues who are software engineering students, this is information for you. OpenAI has made their API available publicly. So anyone at all has access to it to build their own version of these tools. In fact, I personally have tested their API. I've used it to build some sort of health assistant where that uh, assistant answers questions, health related questions. Okay. So people can build tools from this. You can see various versions, but if you want the original one coming from OpenAI, make sure that you are using their site to access it until they officially announce the mobile app. So I think in the course of the week, they announced the iOS app in release. They are yet to have an Android app, but I know that on the market there are a lot of apps that people have created, and they are saying that it is what ChatGPT or bad when it's really not it. Okay, so be very careful, be on the lookout for some of these things when you are looking at it. Okay, next question. Does bard.google.com have an app? So that's too, for now, I don't think there is specifically an app for it. Okay, but just go to, I mean, it's even easier nowadays, guys. Let me tell you this: you don't need to be installing app upon app upon app. Okay, you know, bard.google.com, type it into your browser, access it, then save shortcut to that particular browser. Okay, when you save a shortcut to it, it will store on your phone as some sort of an app that you can just click and open. But it's not an app and it doesn't take space on your phone. That is very, very important. You end up installing app upon app upon app, and you just take up unnecessary space on your phone. So to be on a safer side, just go ahead and save them as, I mean, I have a lot of shortcuts on my phone right now as I'm looking at it. Anything that I need that I want to have regular access to as an app, I don't want to install the app itself. I'll just store it as a shortcut. Okay, so that when I click on it, it will open. So if you think you are going to struggle to always go open a browser and type bar.google.com, then all you need to do is save it as a shortcut. If you don't know how to do it, I mean, use Google. Like, ask Google, how do I save a shortcut on my phone, like on the browser? But it's basically opening the browser, going to the site, the hamburger menu, clicking on it, and looking for an option that says save as shortcut. Then it will now be saved on your phone. That saves you a lot of space. Those of you who always struggle with, there's no space on my phone to install another app, you can use that. So you can do that for Bard, you can do that for ChatGPT, as well as Bing that I mentioned earlier. The next question, I want to know the relationship between AI, ChatGPT, Bard, and Bing. Are they like connectivity related to each other or standalone? I don't know if I asked right. Yeah, so the thing about these things is, remember, these are being produced by different companies. In fact, AI is just getting started. Okay, there are a lot of tools. In fact, this particular week, the number of AI tools that was released is amazing, like a whole lot. Even today, I was reading about the Hippocratic AI, which is more for health related, health focused contest. Like, if you want to ask health related questions, and it's being compared to all of these other ones. The thing about the AI tools, I mean, AI is a very broad thing, but now we are focusing on just the generative ones. And even amongst the generative ones, looking specifically at the text generating ones, okay, or text-based generative AI tools. Even those ones, the thing is, like, different companies, Google is a company on their own. Remember, Google has access to all the information that you've been searching on Google. Everything you search on Google to show you, they have access to that. So this is what they've done. They've created what we call a model, and they fed that model with all of these data that they have, and the model has learned from that data. I mean, it's a bit technical, so if you do not have technical know-how, you may not appreciate how this thing works. But for those of you who have ever read anything about machine learning, how you are able to train a computer to learn, essentially we call those things models. And the model learns from the data that you give it. Okay, so Google has fed this model called BARD. It has fed BARD with all the data that is available to it. Then Bard has learned from it. So Bard has now come to learn that when somebody asks this particular question, it says, let me just give it that I am in Ghana right now. Who is the president of Ghana right now? Sorry. Right now. Okay. So just you go to Google and search for who is the president of Ghana right now. Google has now fed that information to Bard, so Bard knows it. It's just like when you went to university, your lecturer knew the information, right? And they fed the information to you. You came to class, they sat you down, they taught you. Remember, when they taught you and you didn't know, you asked questions, they said, no, this is not right, this is the right thing. That is essentially what these companies do. They train the models over time. It takes a lot of time. I think OpenAI started working on some of their products right from 2015. We are now in 2023, and they released GPT, which we all know about, in the one that became public in 2022 November. But right from 2015, they've been working on several models. They have one that is for audio, Whisper. They have Dell for images. There are ones for videos and all. But essentially, what they are doing for all of these things is feeding them with information. So when I ask Bad right now, he says the current president of Ghana is Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So essentially, Bad has been just fed with information. The same way OpenAI too has fed ChatGPT with information. Okay. And it is different in the sense that OpenAI's information that they fed ChatGPT with is different from what Google fed Bard with. It depends on where you are getting your information from. So that, let's say all of us here right now can come together to build our own models, come up with our own content, and train the content. So for those of you who are software engineers or who are students in software engineering program, this is something you can challenge yourself to do. If you want to be able to build something like that, you may want to start gathering information. This is large language model, like a lot of data for it to make it relevant enough. Okay. But companies like Google, companies like Microsoft, companies like Amazon and co, all of these, Tesla, they have a lot of information to feed their models. So for that matter, they are able to come up with some of these things. And you need huge computing powers to be able to do them. But the difference is that they are built by different companies. They are filled with different information. They are trained different. It depends on who is handling the model, who even created the model, what was the model created to look exactly into. Okay, so that is the difference between them. All right, next question. What's the impact on people with less IT skills? Because I see the AI tools taking the space very soon. Right. So when these things started coming up, there's been a lot of agitation around whether the AI is going to take up your jobs and all. But for me, I'm very optimistic about the future because I look back to history, right? The past that I wasn't even alive, and I think about it in this instance. Say, for instance, there were times that there was no computer in the world, right? There was no Google, there was no internet. So everything that you are using right now that feels so normal to you, that has become part of your life, didn't used to exist. And in the same way, in our era right now, the AI tools have come and they look so new. But in the next decade or more, the children that are going to be born are going to find this as normal. And what is also going to happen is that definition of work and requirements is going to change over time. Remember that we didn't have the role of a software engineer back in the 1800s. There was nothing like a software engineer because what were you engineering? We didn't have anything like that. Remember that way before time, we didn't have a combined harvester. We didn't have this farming machineries, these automated farming machineries, irrigation tools. They were not there. People were manually doing all of this, but now they've all been redefined. So what is going to happen is that with time, a lot of the work is going to be redefined. You wouldn't want to waste your time on things that can be done with the AI. Okay, so the AI is going to take those aspects, but then as humans, we always evolve. So what I would say is that whether you have little IT skills or not, we are in an era that demands that you upskill in that direction if you still want to be relevant. It's like saying when the education era came up, there were people who didn't see the need to go to school because they had a strength, they wanted to use their strength to do manual work, and they went by that. But then the people who went to school because they felt that, okay, this is the new age, let's do it so that we get good jobs, got it. Okay, so now it's very important, it's imperative that you need to start learning some of these things, and not to become like an IT wizard, but to know enough to use it to get the work done. So that's essentially why we are even organizing this workshop, and hopefully we may how to even organize subsequent sessions like this to delve more into various aspects of these tools so that everyone is brought to speed on how to use some of these tools. All you need is, hey, what is the job that you are doing and which aspect of those jobs can be done with the AI tools. Just master those ones. Okay. So the AI is, for me, I don't see AI as replacing me. I see AI as augmenting whatever I'm doing for me to become more productive. Initially, it will take me, say, a month to build a particular software. But now with the power of AI, I can build that software in 3 days. So if I can build a software that would have taken me 3 months or 1 month to build in 3 days, now I can produce a lot more software and I can make a lot more money from my ability to produce more software. In the same way, you are a student, you are learning. It used to take you several hours to do an assignment because you have to struggle through all the Google searches. In fact, you are trying everything, you're not getting, you're going from here to there, you're not getting, and it takes you several hours. Now, these tools are there to assist you. So if you embrace it and learn how to use it well, you will now be able to cut down those 10 hours of studies. You can cut that down to, say, 2 hours. You now use just 2 hours to finish your assignment. You have a lot more time on your hand to now learn extra things that you want to learn. Okay, so don't just go and say, hey, I'm not an IT inclined person. That is why they are making these interfaces as easy as possible. It's just like talking to your friend. So if you say you can't use the tool, it's like saying I can't talk to anybody. If you can talk to people, say if I was your study buddy and you could talk to me and get information whenever you want, then you should be able to talk to the AI to do it. There is a saying I keep telling my friends, those who are close to me will know this. I say that in this era, like this rush that is going on, a lot of the people who are going to make money are the people who are teaching how to use AI. I mean, I could have put a price on this training to say that, hey, for you to learn how to use this, you are going to have to pay this to learn it. And a lot of people are ready to learn. So if you are not ready to learn, this is what is going to happen. These people are going to be up here. They are going to be more productive than you. And eventually they are going to make more money than you. It's as simple as that. So the earlier we embrace it and learn about it, forget about the mindset that I'm not tech inclined. This doesn't involve you writing code or anything. Like you don't need to learn any sophisticated thing to be able to use it. All you need to do is what we are going to talk about right now, which is very simple. Talk to somebody, but then in a specific way to get the best of responses. So yes, to answer your question, please to scale up, but look at it from the angle of AI is going to help me do better. Now you can write a book in just one day. A lot of people go and check Amazon. Now people are producing books that they wrote in one day. People are writing blog posts for their website in just a couple of seconds. Okay, so don't wait until it is too late. Sometimes let me divert a bit, especially because I know my audience are Africans. Hitherto, like prior to recent times, we have always been deprived of information because we didn't have access to the internet like we have now. And our government would have adopted these things only when it has become still in other continents. Like, say, if not for the internet, this is what would have happened. These AI tools would have come. People in the US, UK, and other countries, first world countries, will get access to them. They will use it for a lot of things. Then after about 10 years, when a lot of new things have come, that is when it will get to us. So you and I are very privileged to be in this era where now, as soon as it is released, we have access to it. I mean, I'm always grateful to God for this particular time, like for us coming in this particular time, because our parents didn't get it like that. Our grandparents didn't get it like that. If you were from Africa, you were deprived of all of this information until like it's still. But now I'm telling you what happened in the course of the week. All the AI tools that were released in the course of the week, we have access to them. Unfortunately, I mean, we are still behind some what John Obidio will call the third world fences. Okay, so say Bright mentioned ChatGPT has released an iOS version, but unfortunately, it's not available to Ghanaians. We still have a long way to go, but at least now the information reaches us. So it is only good for us to now be able to compete with the world. Don't sit. Let me just mention this. See, the biggest sale of a tech related company in Africa happened recently, I think 2 months ago, and the company was sold for around $500 million. An African company, trust me, an African company was sold for $500 million. And this company is an African company that deals in AI. This is not heard of. Like, it didn't used to be the story. AI would have been fast gone. Like a lot of things would have happened past 10 years, 20 years before it gets to Africa. So times have changed. And that is why we have to also upskill to, I mean, if somebody in Africa has been able to build an AI tool that has made them $500 million, then you know that there's a lot of possibilities for every one of us. Now you don't have any excuses. I mean, it's the same challenges. This company came from, I think, Tanzania. All right. So a company in Tanzania sold for, I mean, it was born in Tanzania. They eventually went to the US, but then was it US or UK? One of them. But then it was born in Tanzania, an AI company sold for 5 million US dollars. So it tells you a lot that we have gotten beyond some of these barriers, and we should be appreciative of it and make good use of what we have right now. Any other? With regards to plagiarism, is there a way these AI tools can give you content created by another author where you can be cited for plagiarism? And how do I not be cited for plagiarism if I still want to use the AI tools? Yes, so I think the next session that we are going into, I'm going to delve into that. But that has been the concern of a lot of people when they talk about using AI to generate content. I mean, there are a lot of tools that are coming out that they are building to check whether the contents were synthesized by AI or not. But the thing about AI is that when you talk about plagiarism, remember AI is synthesizing content based on information that has been given already. And humans too, we synthesize content information we've been given already. Remember that. Maybe you've not thought about it before, but the way I'm speaking right now, how I'm putting words together, is only because of what I've been taught before. Remember what my English teacher taught me and what I've learned over time is why I'm able to put together these words the way I am putting them together. And it's the same thing that the AI is being taught. Okay. But then these AI tools have some unique way of putting the content. So if you don't learn how to override those ones and modify them to use them, remember, I didn't say using AI to generate your content. I said using it as an assistant. So when you use the AI as an assistant, you are the boss. You oversee everything that you are going to deliver. So if it is an essay, I use the AI to probably do my brainstorming or create my first draft. Then I go in to modify it to the best of my knowledge and present it. Okay. With regards to plagiarism, what you can do is when you are letting AI generate content for you, you would have to also ask the AI to cite any sources they use. Remember, if it was a human being that you said, hey, tell me something about this, and they are telling you, they also probably got this knowledge from somewhere else. And it's also plagiarism because they got the information from someone and they are giving it to you. So if it is in a context where you are supposed to cite somebody, then they should be able to also tell you that, oh, I got this from this resource or this reference. So you have to cite the person. But then, if I mean, in school, if it comes to rewriting, practicing so that they don't catch you, I mean, you could do all of that. with AI. But I think that you should use the AI just as an assistant to assist you in creating the best of content. And that is what we are delving into now. I hope I've exhausted all the questions that came in. All right. Ugh. Great. So, sorry. Now, let's go to ChatGPT and start something. Let me walk you through how to use this to get the best of outcomes. This I don't know. When I started learning about using OpenAI's API to create my own version of the AI tool, this is what I learned, that you have to give the AI a role. The AI assistant always have to assume a role to be able to give you the right information. So now, if I come here and I tell this AI tool to tell me something, it is a large model with a lot of knowledge, like information. And remember that what you are thinking about, the context may be different from another person who is asking the same question. For instance, you are in Africa and you are asking a particular question. The kind of response you're going to get or you need may be different from somebody in the US who is asking the same question. So for that matter, you'd have to tell the AI. Remember, we are discussing how to let the AI give you the best of outcomes. So you have to let the AI know what role is it. And I'm going to explain what this means. But just to explain for you to appreciate what I'm talking about is, if I need health advice, I won't go to my chemistry teacher to go and ask my chemistry teacher for health advice. I won't go to the carpenter and ask for health advice. And I won't go to the market woman to go and ask for health advice. I'll go to a hair professional because I know that they have the domain knowledge. I hope you are getting it. So this is what you need to do. Anytime you need to use the AI to get the best of outcomes, the first thing you should find or define is the role the AI is playing. Very important. And a lot of people do not know this. A lot of them do not use it. Sometimes it helps a lot because it now tells the AI that, okay, assume this position, start from this role. So if it is a health related question that I want to ask this AI to, instead of saying, say I come here and I just type how do I treat diabetes? Remember, if I say, how do I treat diabetes? This AI is a broad AI. Like, it has a lot of information. It doesn't know whether you are speaking from the angle of someone, a herbal, medical, I don't even know how they call them, like traditional medicine practitioner, or like a medical doctor, or who specifically are you asking this question? Okay. So if I'm going to ask, how do I treat diabetes? I'm probably talking to a healthcare professional. So a doctor, a pharmacist, a nurse, any of those people, right? Therefore, I have to tell the AI for it to know, hey, assume that you are this person. Let me not use diabetes. I said academic writing. So let's focus on academics writing. Say I'm writing maybe a CV or a cover letter for application or scholarship application. If I'm going to talk to somebody to assist me in writing a scholarship, I will definitely not go and talk to someone that's never written a scholarship. Obviously, I'm going to talk to someone who has knowledge of that specific scholarship that I'm writing about, applying to. Let's say you're applying, you are trying to apply to a university for your master's degree. You need someone to help you write your personal statement or purpose for the application. You will not go and ask just anybody. you definitely go to ask somebody who has written some before, or someone who has experience with some of these things, or a lecturer who has been reviewing some of these things. So those are the people, those are the roles that you have to give this AI to. So now let's say that we are writing a statement of purpose, right? The first role that I can think of on the top of my head. So now you always have to ask yourself, who has the relevant knowledge to respond to this question that you have? Or who is the best person to give you advice concerning this thing that you want to write, this essay you want to write? Who would be the best person? So if I want to write a statement of purpose for application to graduate, and I'm looking at someone, maybe the admission officer who has been admit people into the school. So what I can come and tell the AI is that, I hope you can see my screen. Tell the AI, assume that you are an admission officer assistant. It doesn't end there. I've given it a role. So when this AI is now beginning to start answering my question, it starts from the perspective of, oh, I'm an admission officer assistant. So it narrows its context to being that expert that you want it to be. Remember, this is not information that you are going to find anywhere. Right. It's not information you are going to find anywhere. I don't think anyone has written any article on it yet. So pay attention to it. You are giving it the role that you want it to assume. So it starts from that angle. Oh, you have seen me to be an admission officer, and that's what I'm going to be to you. So all the knowledge, anything outside, like the knowledge that it has been fed with, or the information that it has been fed with, anything outside being an admission officer assistant is out. Because when there's a lot of this knowledge, they are noise and they confuse the models, and sometimes they spew out things that you are not looking for. Okay, because there are a lot of information. So you are helping it come up as narrow as possible to the right answer that you are looking for. So now I say, assume that you are an admission officer assistant. Then I want to make sure that it's giving me the best of outcomes. So I go on to say that with, or who have, who has reviewed over, say, over 100,000, hundred of thousands, or any, like any number, 100,000 student application, or say graduates, students applications, and have 100% success rate with all students that you have assisted. Now, what have I done? I'll force this AI, let me copy it before I end up dealing. I'll force this AI to assume that role that, hey, there's no room for mistakes for you. Like, I'm not making room for mistakes. I'm saying that you should assume the position. So this AI is going to look for that, I mean, information and expertise. So it's like going to an actual human being who has actually supervised over 100,000 of graduate students applications. And for everyone that he has assisted, the person has been accepted into the university. Okay. So this is the role that I've given the AI. So that is the first thing you want to do. Let me mention it to you. So you want to state who the AI is. I hope you have your pens ready and you're writing. Who the AI is. That's the first thing you want to do. And that's the example that I've given you. So start with who. For me, this is the model I use. So there is who, there is what I want you to do, there is how. I wish I had my pen to be writing. I didn't think about it earlier. No, so you write them. There is the who, which is the example I've given. There's the what you want them to do. Then there's the how you want them to do. And sometimes, depending on specifically what you are looking for, you may have to give it like a geographical location, okay, or yeah, a location to where. Very important. So you're prompting the AI to get the best of response. You have to start with the who, tell it the what, tell it the how, and then the where. These things, if you get them right, is going to give you the best of outcomes. I hope you all are following and you are learning something from today's session. Who is this particular one? We are saying that, hey, you are the AI. Assume that you are an admission officer assistant who has reviewed over 100,000 graduate student applications and have 100% success rate with all students that you have assisted. Now let's go to the what. What do I want from you, the AI? I am a student, or I am applying to a master's degree program in what program do we use in what? Yes, any suggestions? What program do we use? Those of you who are applying for master's degree.
Environmental engineering.
Mm.
Public
Yeah, my
health.
school father is here. Great, great, great. Hi, Enoch. Welcome. I've seen you. I'm applying to a master's degree in environmental engineering. Okay. All right. So this is what I'm doing. Okay. But then, I mean, it doesn't end there. Give it the necessary context for it to give you the right information. So, what is it about the master's engineering degree that you want? Is it and which school? Okay. So, say at University of Waterloo. I'm just, I mean, it just came into my head and I'm writing it at University of Waterloo. So now you need to give it more context. You can't just say I'm applying to a master's degree, so write application letter. Tell it about yourself. Okay. So that one, this is what differentiates. I mean, those of you who are attending today's session from everyone else. This is what is going to differentiate you from them. Everyone will go and say, hey, I'm write an application letter for a master's degree in environmental engineering. Then the AI will generate something. Then they will now go and make edits. But you are learning all these tricks, okay? And it's going to generate a very wonderful one for you. Let's see how we go about it. So I go on to feed it with my personal information so that the write-up that it writes is not a generic information. It writes it based on my special information or circumstances. And it seems like I'm the one who wrote it. There's no doubt about it. In fact, the first time I tried this in December, I used it to write a statement of purpose. And I showed it to my brother to read it. When he was done reading, I told him I wasn't the one who wrote it. He was surprised. And that's the reality. Like, you feed it with the right information, it will write it in a way that you think, hey, this was definitely written by a human being and not an AI. So let's go on. Say I graduated from the University of Mines and Technology in 2012, something like that, with a first class degree. What have you been doing? Maybe over the past 3 years, I have had the opportunity to work. So here, probably I would have added with a first class degree in maybe the particular degree. So mining and safety engineering. Say, please, I'm just putting things together. I don't know. Mining and safety engineering. Over the past 3 years, I've had the opportunity to work in, say, Anglo Gold. I don't even know the company's name. Mines as a safety officer, and any other thing that you may want to add. Maybe in school you got an award as this. After school you have done this voluntary work. All the information that you think is relevant for your application, you put all of those things in there. So this is the what you are giving it all the necessary information it needs to write. By the time it's done, it has crafted the essay the way you want it to be. Don't just go and blindly throw anything in there. So very important. Now, how please. So I'm not saying ideally it should end here. You could go on and provide it with all the information that you need. Because sometimes the graduate school may have like an outline that you should use when you are applying, or things that should be captured in your personal statement. Or I mean, this is applicable to anything else. If it is your student essay that you are writing, give it the right content. Okay, so this is me. I'm a pharmacist. I've done this, I've done that. I have this skill set, and I have this and this. Give it all those information. Then after you've given that information, we now go to the how we want it to do it. So write me a let me see a scholarship winning statement of purpose. Then mostly the how, you end up with giving it a style. So a style in the sense that let's say if it was a story that we're letting it write for us, we could decide, okay, we need to style. So again, write kind of English that she still likes using, and his style of okay. For me, I because I've been working with it a lot, and I personally write mostly. I go up content that I've written already. Then I'll say using the style of this writer, so that it writes it in my own style, because that is who, or I mean, without the AI, this is how I write my content. So I want it to model me, then I say, okay, writing in my style. Now I'll just go ahead and use a generic one, which recently I've been using, and it gives me the best of results. So maybe this is something that you can steal from me from this session. So say, write me a scholarship statement of purpose in the style of a New York best selling author. Maybe one day I'll become one of them. So who knows? I'm starting with the AI to write in their style. So yes, I'm telling it to write. I mean, there are a lot of New York best-selling author, but then the AI appreciates what a New York best-selling author is, how they write, in order for, I mean, people to read them. You will not just write any content and you become a New York best-selling author. Okay, so I'll force to use the style of a New York best-selling author, and now we can go ahead and tell it maybe the location. Sometimes it's important, sometimes it's not important. So say sound, say do I this particular one, do I add the location? So it's not always compulsory. The most important ones are the who, the what, and the how. Okay, the where is usually, it depends on what you're writing about. So if let's say if it was a story that you're writing, you'd have to tell it to narrow it to the Ghanaian context or the African context, or I mean, what is it? However, so let me just try and narrow it down. Write the essay write the statements in the Ghanaian context. All right. So I mean, Ghanaians have a way they use English. If you are a Nigerian, Nigerians have a way they use English, so that this becomes more characteristic of you. Okay. So essentially, what I've done with this particular prompt is that I've told the AI what it is. I've told it what it should do for me. So who it is, what it should do for me, how it should do it, and the way. Very important. So now let's go ahead and run this and see what it gives us. Oh, I should have given it probably word limits. I mean, how long should it be? It's also very important. So all of those things, if the essay gave you word limits, you need to state that. So as you can see, it is writing. Okay, it's writing. We are going to read what it writes for us. To narrow the screen down, I mean, zoom out. I'll read it for you when it's done. Great. I'm poised to. So this, it didn't finish. So what you do is you click continue generating. Then it will continue generating it for us. All right. So now I think it's done. What you can do is click on this to copy and go and paste it somewhere. Or let's read it first what it has. In the depth of the large Ghanaian landscape. So it has gone to use this, I mean, the Ghanaian landscape, because we told it in the Ghanaian context. Okay. The kind of English is using, remember that we gave it a style, right? In the style of what? A New York best-selling author. So this is not a style of I mean, a first year student in the university. I mean, you could tell it to assume any style, but this particular style that we chose was, hey, New York best-selling author. So that is what he's doing for us. In the depth of the large Ghanaian landscape, where the rhythmic beat of nature dances with the whispers of progress. Damn, why are you combining unnecessary English right now? Yes, but you, let's go on. I discovered a profound passion for engineering that now intertwines with my soul. Born and raised in the heart of Accra, I am no stranger to the allure of innovation, nor the unwavering spirit that fuels our nation's quest for sustainable development. Today, I embark on a journey to pursue a master's degree in environmental engineering at the esteemed University of Waterloo. I stand at the crossroads of dreams and determination, ready to delve into uncharted territories. See, this essay that we've written, if say, I mean, if we didn't come here together, we all didn't hear what I have done right now, and we all went on to use ChatGPT to write our application or our statement of purpose, there is no way anyone is going to generate the same content as I have. That's the advantage you get for being here, right? You would have, anybody will use it to generate anything. Now, because you know the prompt I use, maybe when you give it the prompt, it will give you something similar because you are using the same prompt. But then without the same prompt, no one is going to come out with the same content that I'm generating. So there is no way I'll use the AI generate content and you go and see that same content being generated by someone. But if I just give it a generic prompt, anybody could use that generic prompt and they'll end up you getting the same response as I am getting. So that is the difference. Okay. Then he goes on. My path to this defining moment began with an unwavering commitment to excellence woven into the fabric of my academic journey. As a student at the University of Mines and Technology, I traversed the corridors of knowledge, fueled by an insatiable hunger for understanding the intricate relationship between mining and safety engineering. Are you loving the English? Remember, this is the style of a New York best-selling author. So it has done it best to put it at that level. And remember who wrote it for you. This is an assistant who has supervised over 100,000 applications. And out of that, he has gotten 100% success rate. So it's giving you the best of the best. All right. So you can go on to read. I mean, if you think this is too wordy, you don't like how it sounds, you can go on to click regenerate response and it will regenerate another one for you. So the English this thing is using. I mean, the vocabs is not my own vocab. Beg. This is beyond my vocabs right now. But then, yeah, that's the beauty of having an assistant who is able to, I mean, get 100% success rate. You have this assistant for free. You're not paying anybody. So instead of going to pay people to write your application letters for you, pay people to write your academic papers for you, pay people to do whatever, now you have a free assistant. All you need to do is to master how you use it. So those of you who are complaining about plagiarism, whatever, this thing that I've written, if someone is going to sit somewhere and say that, hey, you copied from this place or this particular place, there is no way this somewhere else. Okay, if you use just anything at all, you will get anything at all. Garbage in, garbage out. But with this framework that I've been using, I promise you are going to get the best of outcomes if you do it well. Remember, tell the AI who it is, what you want to do, how you want it to do it, and where, the location, context, and be explicit enough, provide it with enough context. So if it is an essay that you want to write, give it all those information. How do you want it to write? For instance, the style, we could have said, okay, write it in the style of a first year undergraduate student from Ghana, a first year undergraduate student from Kenya, a first year undergraduate student from Tanzania. Like, you determine how you want it. Okay. Then now remember, I said it has memory. It has created a second version. I can still go ahead and create another version. So this is another interesting twist that I want you guys to pay attention to. Those of you who are looking forward to avoiding plagiarism, yeah, I think when I shared the URL for this event, I posted it around. A very good friend of mine reached out and said, hey, have you considered plagiarism? That in the school where it's a TA, they flagged a number of plagiarism concerning using these tools. I mean, they said that they use these tools to some lose scholarship because they found that use GPT. I know their point blank that it's no way I use it. It's as simple as that. If you know how to, and those are here, I've seen how to try out, appreciate what I'm saying. It depends on you. But one more interesting bit. Now I rated, this was my second one. So if I come here, I get the first one. If I click on this, I get a second one. Okay. What I'm going to do now is generate another. And I'll go back, open Google Docs. Please, if you are a student or even a professor, I mean, for all of you who are here, I have to give out these bonuses, okay? So that you get, I mean, your time that you've spent with me is not a waste. If you're using any tool to write content, I mean, with regards to the web processing tools that you use, for now, you have to stop using the one on your local machine, the Microsoft Word that you have access to, and use the online versions. This is why I say so. There is something called version control, and or I don't know if to call it history control. And the online tools allows us to do that. Okay. I think those of you in software engineering will appreciate version control. And today I published a video on YouTube about version control. But these tools, let me open one. I personally have resorted to using Google Docs. So now I don't have Microsoft installed on my computer. Microsoft Word installed on my computer. I don't remember the last time I used it. Excel on my computer. No, I don't install all of those things. They take up a lot of space and I don't need it. I think the challenge that you may face if you are going the route I'm going right now is that you need internet access to be able to use these ones, but still it's worth it. And for some of them, you can set offline mode so that when you don't have internet access, you still have access to them while you are offline. So I'm encouraging each and every one of you to start using the online version. Google is docs.google.com, or just as you saw me do, to create a new document, I use docs.new. That's the URL I use, docs.new, and it will create a new Google Doc for me. For Office, I think, I don't know if Word.office, is that it? Forgotten. Word.office, let me try. Forgotten if that is it. Oh, so that doesn't work. But then let's say
It's Office
Microsoft.
365.
No. That's not what I'm looking for. I don't want Office 365 is a subscription model that if you're not subscribed to, you will not be able to use it. Microsoft Word Online. Let me just search for it. So you could have access to those ones as well. I'm going to show you why I'm recommending it and why those ones are powerful. Once you are here, I feel that this is you know about it. This is what I will do. I go to ChatGPT, copy the text I has generated. Okay, so copy this. I mean, I come here to paste it. This is it. The first one, I could get the second one. So now I've generated three. Okay, say this is number two. Sorry, two. Then it's two here. Then let's get number the last one, which will be this. Then now let's go through these three that you have generated. The introduction, which of these introduction makes a lot more sense or resonates more with you? Particular introduction and use it for your introduction. Pick the next one, go through the various sessions, the ones that you think is the best. Use those ones where you need to change something, change it, and you it's like a unique write up that no one else will be able to generate the same. And if I mean there are some words that is put together, sometimes the other thing you can do is make sure you're using a tool like I think QuickBooks of a tool like QuickBooks, which is used for paraphrasing, grammar, structuring, or Grammarly. Any of those two tools, you can use it to now assist you to make the necessary changes. By the time you are done doing all of that, there is no way anyone is going to say, hey, you pick this one from the AI tool or you copy this one from this site. No way. Okay, so that's how to go about it. But now back to the reason I wanted you to do this, use this, the history. Why am I not seeing history? Create, okay, say this was, what was it? Personal statements, statement of purpose, engineering. Okay, so let me just name it. Oh, yeah. So anytime you come in to make some extra changes, okay, maybe let's say I close this and I go and come, not off, okay, yes, office.live, no, where, let's go there. Because I remember I've used it before. They also have a free version that has the same thing. What is that? It has the same history control. So you can see any changes that you've made over time so that you don't lose your drafts. For some of you, you say, oh, I forgot to save my documents and the light went off and I lost it. That thing is now a thing of the past. Very much so, thing of the past. When you use these online ones, automatically they are saving as you are typing. So whether your light went off in the course of doing this or not, you have access to the information anytime you come back to it. Then also, let me go back to the one that we created. Say, docs. I think the Microsoft Word 2, they have a simple URL. Forgotten. Google's own is docs.new. Microsoft also has a very simple one that allows you to access Word. I think my network isn't that strong, but it's opening, as you can see. Then we come here, open this particular one that we just created no longer. We're going to make some changes to it. All right. So assume that I mistakenly clicked within here. Then I entered and I typed some random thing in there. Okay. See, it is saving up here as you can see. My network is really not good. Right. This also takes forever to, but I hope you get to the point. There are online versions that you can use. They are already stored in your account. And the good thing about it is that when I lose my computer, my documents, like right now, I can go anywhere without my computer and I still have access to almost every one of my documents because they are available online. Okay, so that is one good reason why I'm admonishing every one of you here to start using the online versions. If it is especially that you're looking for, Excel online is available, Google Sheets online is available. If it is PowerPoint like presentation, Google Slides is there. Almost everything you are looking for, there is an online one that can be used for it. Okay, so I've made those changes and to be able to, this is C documents, they also documents ready for line use. But to get my history. Ooh. Nope, 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 nope. Usually, let me close it and again. Know that when I make the changes, usually they put it up here, maybe view, I don't know. But the good thing is you'd have access to the whole history. I think this one. Okay, come back to it. You have access to the whole history. Okay, so essentially, I've shown you how to generate these things, and I've told you that after you generated a couple with work that we've left, you can now go back and do your own editing, putting together things like one from sections, parts from the various ones that you have together and create one that no one else is going to get, even when they use the same prompt that you used. Not going to get the same thing that you have. Okay. So now let me break and take the questions as we wait for these ones to load to see how we use the history. So your question, let me grab your questions. All right. I'm glad you are all enjoying the session. Great, 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 great. I'm going to and I'm glad you are looking, you're enjoying the session. Hopefully more of this soon. I pray a lot of time after I'm done with software so that we do a lot of these sessions. Okay, now questions. So put your questions in the Q&A, and just so I mean, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Let's take a. Must I subscribe to ChatGPT app before I can use it? So no, ChatGPT is free for use. What I've been using is free. There is ChatGPT Plus, which comes with a $20 per month subscription, which also gives you an advanced version of it. I mean, for now, and a couple of additional things. It's very fast, no lags. and all. That's a paid one. If you don't have money to pay, please go ahead and use the free version. You can actually use it. Then yes, so all the three tools, they are free. The tools that I've shown you, all of them are free. So as you can see, this is where documents have the interface, just you have local documents, and you create the same way you use the others. But you never lose anything that you type in here, whether the computer crashed or your light went off, you never lose it. And you get access to history as well. I don't know where the history is hiding right now. Usually when I come, I just get to see history. So I've not really paid attention to where to find, okay, version history, version history. So see version history, receiving a control alt plus shift plus H. That is file. So you go to version history, you get to see version history. Another good thing about this is collaboration. I can share this document with you for you to read. All my application letters and co, I usually share it with people to view it. So I just share the Google Doc so that any changes that the person makes to it, I get to see the changes. So you see, there's the initial one that I started. The name is captured, whoever made it, you see it, the time and the date that they made it, it will also be there. So if I come here, it will show most current version, or the changes that I made to would be shown there. Then you see, oh, this is what they did. Show changes. So why are you showing changes? It has to show changes. So it would highlight all the changes that were made. And then, oh, okay, this is the changes the person made. I don't know why it's not showing. Yes, exactly. So why is it picking everything? I don't know. This in this wants he wants to dismiss me. I refuse dismiss. Yes, so I mean that is just one of the things you can do. What tool can be used to paraphrase? Yes, so I mentioned I use Quillbot. It's over here. I don't know why it turned off. Well, they've logged me out. So Quillbot is what I use. Let me write it on the screen somewhere. Quillbot. Q. I use Quillbots. Okay. Quillbots. So they have, if I use Google Docs, for instance, they have a Google Doc extension you can use. If you are using Chrome, there's a Chrome extension that you can use. There is the online version that you can go to their website, Quillbot. You can also use Grammarly, but then I think Grammarly, to paraphrase, you need a paid version. So Quillbot, that's what I use. And so far, I think I enjoy using Quillbot over Grammarly. I don't know why. Like, yeah, I feel I like Quillbot more over Grammarly. So you can also try. It's also for free. I mean, the basic things that you need are for free. If you need something more than the basic, then you may have to pay for it. All right. Next question. I want to use this condition as a case study with regards to what she taught me so far. How do I apply the who, where, and how? Okay, so you are using, what is it? Uterine fibroid. What exactly are we doing with uterine fibroid? Is it like an essay that you are writing? Is it, what is it like? A lesson you are creating to go and teach people? Is it a presentation? Okay, so that's where you should start from for whatever it is. So maybe I'm writing an essay about uterine fibroid. Even if it is an essay, I have to know what type of essay it is. All right. Then the who is, I mean, who knows much about uterine fibroid? Will you go and ask, say, a software engineer about uterine fibroid? Obviously, let's say you're a professional, you are looking at a researcher in that field, okay? Or yeah, like people who have domain knowledge. So now let's the AI assume that role. So assume that you are a specialist dealing with uterine fibroid who has, remember I said it's on the context, like what exactly are you talking about? The uterine fibroid, is it a question that I want to ask about it, like I want to know more about it or what? So if it is me wanting to know more about it and how to treat it, then let's say you're a specialist dealing, a specialist in uterine fibroid, like dealing with uterine fibroid, who has experience 10 years, over 10 years experience dealing with patients with uterine fibroid, who has successfully treated, say, 100% of your patients. We are describing that. I hope that makes sense. Then what do you want it to do? Are you asking it for treatment options? Are you asking it to teach you about the thing? Or are you asking it to assist you create a presentation? Like there are a lot of things that this thing can do. See, right now, if I think of a business idea right now, I can come up with a business plan in just 30 minutes. And I mean, it's amazing. So I hope you are seeing the gist how to use it for that. After says thank you, Doc, for this information and be able to use that style in coding. Yes, I mean I am I said earlier that the good thing about some of these tools is that a software that would have taken you 3 months to build can take like 3 days to build. If you go through my, you will realize that I've used this to do a lot. Like I use it on regular basis to do a lot. Okay, so coding is one of them. And if you want to code, the same framework works perfectly. Okay, the thing about the framework is, see, there are a lot of AI tools that are coming up, which are being abstracted from this one. Say now there is Foster. I don't know if Foster is still here. You can drop in. You said one tool with me, AI tool for coding. If you are around, I mean, you could drop that in the chat for everyone. So what is happening is that with that particular one, they have built it on the ChatGPT or GPT model, but then they have defined the role of the assistant, that the assistant is just focused on coding. So it knows. And that's exactly what you are also going to do when you are telling it. I mean, you are a senior software engineer. Is that what you want it to be? If you are giving it a role of a senior software engineer to help you, that's fine. Or it's an instructor, a coding instructor, or it is a junior software engineer, or it is someone who is studying software engineering. Depending on what you want it to do, give it that role and you'll be able to get what you are looking for. All right. How do I use the what, who, and why in coding? So, I mean, that's essentially what I've said. Okay. What exactly are you looking for? So maybe I want to understand the concept of, say, anything, object-oriented programming. So I come. Sorry to my audience who are not uh, involved in coding and do not know about it, but just an example. So I can say that you are a programming instructor who is experienced in teaching object oriented programming and have already taught over thousand students the concepts. At least I've defined the who, then I can now go on. What exactly do I want you to do for me? Okay, I want you to explain the concept of object-oriented programming as used in Python language. I'm an absolute beginner who do not know blah blah blah. Give it all the context, whatever you want it to do. Tell it that way. Then now ask it to respond to you. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Any other questions? Guys, you're bringing the session to end. So your final questions, those of you in the audience, I mean, now you can unmute yourself and ask your questions, and I'll respond to that. I'm writing a book with the help but I didn't really have much knowledge on how to write good content like you taught me today. You're welcome. I mean, that's the essence of the community. Great. So, any questions from the audience before we close? If you have any questions, otherwise, thank you all so much for joining. I really appreciate the time and I mean, you enjoyed it. Yes. Is someone having a question? Yeah, go
So
ahead.
like this
Sure.
is extremely kind of so good, so good, so good. I'm really kind of appreciative. I would like to know if we're going to have a recorded version of this, like seriously.
Will be published on our YouTube channel, Digital School Academy YouTube channel.
So I did not hear you.
It will be published on our YouTube channel, Digital School Academy YouTube channel. So as soon as it's published, I mean, I'll share the information around for you all to see it.
Okay, thank you so
We
much.
have a community on WhatsApp. I think maybe I should share a link. It's been a while. It's been a while
Yeah,
since
really
I.
appreciate that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so maybe we'll revive the community starting somewhere July, God willing. Most, I mean, would you love to have these sessions or I mean, just digital skill like teaching, but you can't teach that audience. So if the audience show up, then I can be ready to show up. So if you are to become for say, monthly sessions, we could probably plan something like that. Monthly sessions. Hmm. Yes. So let me hear from you. Ooh, you're welcome. Welcome, everyone. Let me just grab your one of these groups, Digital School Academy groups, Digital School. Okay, I think this one. URL. So I want to share the URL to the group, WhatsApp group, where actually post anything we are having. So it's in the grab this. Those of you in software engineering, maybe you should see me in Chambers and we'll host a session on how to use it for coding. How to use GPT for coding. Yeah. One more thing, maybe like for students that I'm thinking about, we are in May. Let me say ending of June, I may host another session on how to use these tools for as a tutor if you want to learn anything. I mean, like anything, anything you want to learn, you can use this as a tutor. Okay, yes. So first I shared, those of you who are interested in coding, there is an AI tool first I shared, highlight this message which I've highlighted for coding. You can check that tool out. And I'm sharing the invite to okay, yes, another invite to the data to academy WhatsApp group. URL. You can click on it and join the group if you are yet to join. All right. So as I was saying, hopefully next month, ending of next month, we'll look at how to institute that for learn just about anything that you want to learn. And I hope you don't miss it. If you enjoy this session, please do me a favor, share the information about the about the good job today. Okay, sometimes when we put in energy like this to do the work and it doesn't reach people we want it to reach, it really feels bad, and you don't want. I mean, you don't feel good coming out to give your all again because you do all this and it's not making any impact. This is to reach as many people as possible. We know, I mean, Africans, we don't want to be last anymore. We want to take the lead, and this is one of the ways we'll do that. Have people lead us, teach us the things, and I mean, these are tools that are just being released. Google Bard came just recently. GPT is on development. There are a lot of tools. So now sessions, maybe per session will take a new tool, will delve into how to use this tool for this thing. Next session, we are looking at how to use AI as learning just about anything. Thank you so much for joining once again. I am Dr. Obed. I want to believe introduce myself before we started. Obed, and I was the convener of this day. Next month, I don't know about the time, but we'll share it in the group and I'll post it. Everyone share it out. Just follow me. I mean, you can find my profile on just about every social media platform. ObedCom the name of the social media platform. You'll find it. So let me just put it there. Those of you who are yet follow me will follow. You can follow me from there, then get all the coming sessions. So for instance, I've shown an example of Twitter where it is near obed.com/Twitter. Okay, so if it is Facebook, it's obed.com/Facebook. If it is LinkedIn, obed.com/LinkedIn. So just use that and you'll be able to reach me. Feel free to send me a message anytime that you need any assistance. As and when I get the time, definitely respond to it. Thank you so much. Until we meet again. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.